So I often get asked which book I would recommend reading. I've not really come across many sort of recruitment books that are pretty good. A lot of them are outdated. I've read about four or three. I think it's about three. Um, I did get sent a book by a gentleman called Steve Guest, and it's called Top Biller. Having read it, it's pretty good. First thing I do when I read a recruitment book is go to the sales page. Now, it's a good indication that the person knows what they're talking about. So I think the line I read was every call you make is a sales call, whether it's to a candidate or to an employer or client. So reading that, I knew it was a good book. I read the whole thing. It took me a few days, but it's literally just my feedback, and it's my recommended book for anyone wanting to start recruitment. It's pretty much what I talk about on this channel as well. So homing in on, I've just got a book in front of me, so I'm just going to read some chapters out and what's really stood out to me. So he talks about the client acquisition, how he goes about that. So it's very different how he goes about it. It's very more research than what I would do. I mean, he looks at the company's past history, turnover. He really does an in-depth analysis, and from what I gathered, he's very good at sort of following up. He doesn't just call for the sake of it for KPIs or anything like that. So background into the client side, he goes into depth with that. But he also focuses, which I really like, on the candidate experience and building your own brand, which he's done very well over the years, and he's trained a lot of people with regards to that. So it's probably a book for pretty much anyone. If you're just starting off, I know a lot of people want to get into recruitment, and they're asking me, what's this, how does this work, and all these little things that come apparent when you're working in it. A lot of people want to start a business without actually reading a book or actually working in the industry. So this book is pretty much a blueprint for that. I would highly recommend it. I'll put a link in the description below, so if you want to purchase it off Amazon as well, I'll be happy to discuss the book with anyone as well. It's a fantastic read. Some of the other key points that I picked up on is the candidate attraction once more, how to use job boards, how to attract candidates, how to get clients, how to actually get leads for your clients as well. Those bits really stood out. And at the end of the book, he goes into finding a good mentor, looking up how to actually train people and sort of give back as well. And then obviously he goes into CV advice, which I do as well for my candidates. So I give CV advice, I help them write their CV, and the conversion rate goes really high. The only thing I don't think he touched on in the book, I might be mistaken, is how can I put it, interview preparation, which I do as well. So maybe he does it, but he just hasn't added it into the book. So, but in regards to that, it's a fantastic read. This last point I was going to touch on in regards to the book, I mean, it was the email part. So e-shots, client e-shots, so mass emails out to clients and candidates, which is brilliant. There's a lot more that I would do as well and automate the process, but he touches on that as well. So it's good for beginners, fantastic for people that are mid-range, and yeah, if you're sort of an expert in the field, then probably it's going to be some value. And always with books, you always want to look at, I mean, I've read a lot of books in my time, but the thing that I try and do is get that one bit of information that stays with me for the rest of my life. So I've, Rich Dad, Poor Dad was probably one that stood out to me. It's the reinvestment and become an investor or a business owner. Grant Cardone's 10X is, what stood out to me was doing something in 10 minutes, what usually takes most people an hour, so you gain more time. So in this book, you probably find some value as well. So that's my recommended book, probably for recruitment for a long time. I can't see anything else coming out. And yeah, it's a fantastic read. So let me know what you think if you do buy the book. Happy to discuss it with you all.